to do it with me. And you're supposed to do it 3 times according to Anzio. I don't know why. Okay.
Hey guys.
Hey.
It's been a minute, right?
It's been a few minutes.
Yeah, we have been like busy, a lot of stuff going on, but we have missed you all.
Yeah.
When I tell you we appreciate the love, the comments, man, it really just helps us to just say, you know what, we're gonna keep doing this, man. It's just kind of giving you guys insight into our crazy world.
It's such an honor to welcome you into not just our home, but to our lives. And what the heck is happening around here at the bakery?
It's crazy. It's crazy. As you can see with the Christmas tree in the background, it's Christmas time. And
it
so
feels like Christmas.
Yeah, man. And so it gets really, really busy this time of the year for us. You know, the other day we were talking about something and that we thought like, yo, that should be a kitchen conversation.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about us, family is extremely big. It's huge. It's something that is at the forefront.
Is there anything bigger than family? I really don't think so.
Some people think, I know, opportunities or
for
careers.
us.
For us.
For us.
No, family is it.
It's always
family
been the priority.
It's always been the priority, and my prayer and my hope is that it will always be the priority. And you know what? Parenting is hard, y'all.
Guys.
Like, I don't know who told me that it was going to be easy.
Told me.
They lied.
They lied.
They lied, man. It is hard work because if you just have one child, okay, you just know the script for that one child, or you try to learn what that script is.
Yeah.
But when you start having multiples,
listen,
man, when I tell you,
it's not a one size fits all.
Parenting is not a one size.
We
That's
probably
good.
even learned it the hard way at some times.
And we haven't mastered it. We're still learning it, you know, so.
We're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, so our boys, you know, Jaden is 15, Joey is 12, and then Judah is
He's
8.
almost 8.
I always have to say, you know what I say about Judah? Well, first of all, Jaden and Joey, there's an expiration date. They got to get out of my house when they turn 18.
I think that's rude and
Judah
inconsiderate.
can live with me forever.
And unfair, guys. That is not fair at all.
He can live with us forever. But they are all different.
Chris says, there are not going to be 2 grown men in my house.
There ain't gonna be 2 grown men in my house.
Except
but
you and Judah.
With me and Judah.
You're the only exception.
I gotta have somebody to just like, But anyway, so they're all different, and I think one of the mistakes, and that just for me to be transparent as a dad, that I made is making the assumption that they were all wired the same, that the way I disciplined one or the way I motivated one was going to be the same way it worked for all of them. And what I realized that, because here's the deal, the way I was raised, you know, this is like some new age parenting stuff, right? I know that's what y'all are saying, because if you was raised like me, it was a one size fits all. Whatever Paul said went for all of us.
But I don't necessarily think it's new age parenting, although some of you might think that. I actually think it's like emotional intelligence.
That's new age.
You know, is it?
My daddy and mommy knew about no emotional intelligence. It was here's this belt, and if you don't do what I tell you to do, you're gonna catch this here leather on your You call it emotional intelligence. I love that phrase though. But it really, that's what it is. That's what it is. And I think it's imperative that we as parents, that we are sensitive to basically how our kids are different, their uniqueness, how they're wired, their behavioral tendencies, their personalities, their skill sets, their giftings. You know, a lot of you guys, you know about Jaden. Jaden came out of his mom playing drums. You know, he was always just
a drumstick in his hand.
Yeah, man, he's always loved music, and so his gift was like, because it was my gift.
It was obvious.
It was obvious to us. You know, mom singing, I played, so it was an obvious gift for us to recognize. And what do? We feed it. We would just affirm it, and so
he didn't want toys. He didn't want trucks. He didn't want Playmobiles, whatever all that stuff is. He wanted instruments.
He wanted instruments.
So
that
we
was
knew
his thing.
what to put in front of him because he made it very clear.
Yeah, and so the assumption is, well, same mama, same daddy, we're gonna do it again with Joey. Wrong. Joey was like, listen, I ain't have it, and he's very musical.
He is musical. That's
he is
funny.
so musical. But what works for Joey is totally different from what works for Jaden.
Yeah.
And so as a parent, where I made a mistake earlier on is I thought that what worked for Jaden and the way I would reinforce him with positive reinforcements, it would work for Joey, and Joey was totally different.
Totally different.
Joey was totally different. And so I think when we stumbled across like, hold up, he's responding differently to when I reward him with, you know what, Joey, because you did X, Y, and Z, here's money for V-Bucks. that works for him. You know, or for me to walk in his room and he grew up and he had an affinity for, you know, animals and stuff like that. So the same way I could have done this. I could have made the mistake and continue with the mistake of keep trying to feed him music and buying him guitars and buying him drums. Because he is musically inclined. But that is not his passion. Yeah. It's my oldest boy's passion, but his passion is different. And so I think having the sensitivity, and I'm so grateful to God that we have that awareness to say, yo, whenever you put animals or you start talking about ocean animals and dinosaurs, this kid comes alive. So you know what we started doing? We started feeding that. Yeah. And it has literally changed. I think it's changed him because he knows, like, yo, I look for that level of affirmation from my mom and my dad. And I think that's something as parents, we need to understand that our kids are different. They're wired differently.
And what we have learned, I mean, I feel like it's like okay, we get it, but statement, but what you feed will grow. Yeah. Like, we think everybody gets that and realizes that, but when you actually see it happening in front of your very own eyes, it's pretty darn amazing.
And that's not just in the good thing, it's in the bad things too. If you feed anger, anger will grow. If you feed bitterness, bitterness will grow. If you feed resentment and jealousy, you know, and if you feed that thing, it will grow.
What you feed grows, what you starve dies.
I don't think I've ever heard that, and it makes so much sense.
Did I just bless you?
Yeah, you did. That was really great. Say that one more time.
It came out of my shundo. It's like.
And for the people that don't understand church, what is a shundo? It's a gas pocket. For our new age friends, it's a gas pocket right there.
It's just what comes out of you after living and learning and making mistakes. You don't like that I just got taller than you.
I'm like, are you standing up and we're the same height? She's standing up and I'm sitting down and we're the same height.
I'm sitting on my feet.
You're standing up.
I'm sitting on my legs. Look.
She's little, y'all. Okay.
Guys, just a fun fact.
What you feed?
Hold on. I have not grown since 5th grade. We figured that out today in conversation.
She stopped growing in the 5th grade.
Yeah.
She was very tall in the 3rd grade, medium tall in the 4th, everybody's height in the 5th.
And then it was over.
But
what you feed,
done, son.
Yes, what you feed grows, and what you starve will eventually die.
It'll die.
So these are things that we're learning about our boys, and I think Josiah is 12 years old.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to say to parents out there: it's never too late to take a second look. Wouldn't you say so?
Man, that's so good. I just need to stop talking and just let you keep talking.
No.
Okay, so unpack that for me. Unpack that. What do you mean by...
What did I say?
It's never too late to take a second look.
Well, I think sometimes it takes time for our children, their gifts, their personality,
that's good.
To really develop so that we can see it more clearly.
Yeah, so, can I interject real quick?
Please.
So some kids are like fast bloomers. Like boom, 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 boom.
We know out the way.
You like Jaden, what we were saying about Jaden. Other kids are like, it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
But when it's a slow build, but once they catch that stride, then it's like they explode.
Yeah.
So again, one child's trajectory may be this. Their pace may be this. Allow that other child to find their own trajectory and their own pace.
And then you really have to, and this is something that I appreciate you you being my husband and you being the father of my 3 boys, but also a leader for our home. One of the things.
Hold on, I like to say that last statement.
I'm not going to say it.
Leader, she
and
called
I will
me.
not repeat it.
I'm the leader.
I follow you as you follow Christ. Any moment you stop following Christ, I stop following you.
Christ, okay.
Christ. Christ to me.
Go ahead, because you're going to forget what you were saying.
God, it happened again.
What you loved about me?
I don't like the way that you started that, but yes.
Yeah.
One of the things I said I appreciate about him is that because we are believers, guys. I don't know that you are, and if you're not, it's okay. Yeah. We just hope our light shines in any direction that God gives us the opportunity.
Yeah.
This is what
He's our source.
We are believers. And one of the things that I love about you is that when we hit a brick wall, sometimes with our boys at different times, like I know that you'll stop and you make that a matter of prayer.
Yeah.
Whether it's in discipline, because they don't always respond the same to how we would discipline.
Judah taught me that one.
Yeah.
I can give you all that story on another kitchen conversation.
It's a whole another conversation. But they definitely respond.
I threatened Judah. I threatened within his life. I I thought it was going to work. That joker laughed at everything I did.
He was not moved.
He was not moved
he
at
didn't care.
all.
No, but then we pray, and you pray specifically to find out like what's the key, not to break them down, but to actually be able to help build them up to be better young men, which will turn them into better friends, better husbands, and how about just better humans?
Just better humans,
like that's the goal in our house. Can you just be a good human? And if you can be a good human, everything else in your life is going to, all your other relationships will flourish.
Yeah.
But I love that about you. You will take time, you'll pray, and you'll ask the Lord to help show you, to show me what it is or what our approach should be concerning our children.
Yeah. I think that's the responsibility as parents. My dad would always say, it's like, man, you know, you have to go to take classes to get your license, and you have to go to college in order to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But when it comes to having kids, just anybody can have kids. And man, when he would say that, I was like, yo, he's like, it's an awesome responsibility when it comes to raising kids. And my thing is always say this, God, don't let me mess my kids up. Because a lot of the things that we are dealing with are things that are passed down, where there are proclivities, where there are pathologies, a lot of this stuff where there are fear patterns that were passed down, and I don't want to pass those things. Life is hard enough as it is. What I don't want to do is to have my kids climbing a waterfall with a backpack on their back because of the baggage that I placed on them.
Giving them extra baggage that they didn't have to have.
Yeah.
It's so important. Like, if you think about it, many of us are still dealing with and trying to outlive and outlast some of the things that we experience as children. I'm 40, he's 42. We're still trying to wrestle down things that we experienced in our childhood. Maybe you went through a certain type of trauma, and then here comes another trauma on top of trauma, and you're in your 30s and your 40s, and or 50s and 60s, and still trying to get I'm going to be churchy and say victory over, or get that type of thing under your feet so that you can actually move forward in life and have the real life that you want to have, that you're aiming towards. And so it's so important to even remember that our kids don't just do what we say, they do what we do.
Yeah. Oh man, you're killing me today, girl. Our kids don't do what they say, do what we say, they do what we do. They do what we do. Wow.
Heck yeah.
Wow. So we're gonna wrap, man. Like I said, family is important.
Look at every child that you have, if you have multiples. Look at them as individuals. And of course it's like, okay, of course they're individuals. But maybe I should say, look at yourself, look at your partner, and say, is there something we should tailor? Is there something we should do different in how we approach things, how we discipline, how we encourage, how we praise? Everything doesn't mean the same to everyone, and we've talked about that before. You want to know what somebody's love language is.
Yeah, and kids have love languages. I would advise you, go to Amazon. The same guy, I think it was Gary Chapman, there's one for kids, and I would admonish any parent to just avail yourself to that amazing resource, because it is important.
Yeah, and if you're gonna take the time to really focus in on your children as individuals, you want to be speaking the same language. You want them to hear you in the way that they hear best. So if you're gonna take that energy, I think it's a great idea to get Gary Chapman's book and figure out your kids' makeup. That way you're working smarter and not harder.
I think what that does, and we'll wrap with this, it creates an environment.
Like how he's tried to wrap us twice?
Yeah, it creates an environment, and I always believe this. If we as parents, our responsibility is to create the right environment. If the seed is in the right environment, it will do what it was born to do.
Now
can you hand me that orange right there, real quick? And see, she was standing up.
My legs are numb from
sitting
on them.
Told you she was standing up, y'all. I don't need one.
Okay.
This orange, and this orange is flat. The struggle is when you take this and you try to make this work in the wrong environment. Okay? If it's in the right environment, it will be, and it will become what it was destined to become.
Yeah.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.